We'll be just starting in 2 minutes.
Sure.
Krishna, do you find Kanishk there? Like he's a +2 of me.
He's in which department or do?
Model validation only. Kanishk Agarwal.
No, yeah, actually, model validation and RMG has different
अच्छा
different work times, as to say.
अच्छा अच्छा
Sorry to interrupt you guys.
Yeah.
Actually, we have the audience joining in. Mr. Priyam and Mr. Sagar, can you please turn on the video so that we can start? Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the placement bootcamp organized by Communiqué IIT Kharagpur. We are here to explore the domain of finance. I'm Krishna, and I'll be hosting the event with my co-host Satadru, representing Communiqué IIT Kharagpur. We are delighted to have you all for this panel discussion as we discuss the insights required to prepare for a career in finance.
Also, I would like to tell the audience that the chat box is open for you. Feel free to post your questions over there, which we will take up at the end of the session. Now, without further ado, allow us to introduce our esteemed panelists. First up, we have Mr. Shobhit Tripathi, who has successfully secured a placement at HSBC. Mr. Shobhit, could you please take a moment to introduce yourself?
Sure. So most of them who are like from different halls might know me. Not sure about that, but yeah. So I've been start करें तो I've been to Kota. उसके बाद फिर like in the first year, like I've been to some different teams. मैंने इंटरव्यू वगैरह दिया लेकिन किसी में हुआ नहीं. See, and then second year में कुछ पता नहीं था where we will go in SD or different kind of roles, but third year से start होते होते like I found some interest in data science and other backgrounds of data science, data analysis, and for that I did some projects and some different professors of KGP also as well. And then after that there was no much of a big internship in my CV, but yeah, I done some internships and yeah, I prepared well for the placement, so that's why I'm in HSBC. Thanks.
We are glad to have you on the panel. Next on our panel, we have Mr. Krishnakant, who has secured a placement at Nomura. Mr. Krishnakant, please give a brief introduction of yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Krishnakant and I'm from Sambhajinagar, Maharashtra. I'm from mining engineering department and I got a chance to do specialization in financial engineering. Methodology analyst, risk management role at Nomura. Yeah, thanks.
So we're glad to have you with us. Now, also joining us is Mr. Sagar Karn, who has earned a prestigious placement at Citibank. Mr. Sagar, could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
So, hi guys, I'm Sagar Kumar Karn. I graduated recently from IIT Kharagpur with a degree in economics. I also had a minor in mathematics and computing. New Delhi से हूँ मैं. And regarding my experience, यार मैं I started off with coding SD. Then I went to data science, and eventually I ended up with a risk analyst role at Citi, जो कि काफी align करता है with what I have studied in economics and all. And yeah, that's about me. So yeah.
Thank you, Sagar, for providing us with your valuable time. Finally, we have with us Mr. Priyam Saha, who has got a placement at Blackrock. Mr. Priyam, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, this is Priyam. I also studied in pursued economics along with Sagar. I'm currently in Gurgaon office of Blackrock, and yeah, that's about it.
So we will all like to congratulate you for your amazing accomplishments. Now, without any further ado, let's dive right into our discussion.
Krishna, you are on mute, I guess.
No, you are not audible. Satradul, right?
Yes.
Yeah, can you begin?
So going up with the meeting. Um, so coming up, we have a question that is, uh, are there different types of finance roles based on the company? Could you please brief us a little about each one? Mr. Shobit, we want to hear your views on this. Could you
Yeah,
please
sure,
tell?
sure. Yeah, about different companies and different rules. Yes, there are many rules in finance only. See, there will be different companies coming at different point of time, like day or different days. So each one will have their unique, point of sale actually. So let's see, Nomura and HSBC, how much different they are. But like there's a model validation group which works, let's say, in more of kind of software profile. But yeah, they call it as a model validation. And this HSB side, they name them as a training analyst. That is what of my role. But actually here we call as it is quant researcher, sort of that thing. So eventually, yeah, in the background of finance, if you're not going into model validation group and other groups, there will be similarities between them, and that depends on how much well you have understood the mathematics behind the finance and other asset classes. So yeah, that's kind of thing.
Um,
That was a
so
yes.
yeah, so I would like to add something about this. So you can see that the roles that come in campus, they range in finance. They range from finance to fintech. Okay, so you can you can see that some roles are pure finance role, and then there comes few roles where a little bit of tech is required. Let's say just Python coding or stuff like that. Uh, so these basically the finance companies, they look so let's say Deutsche Bank, right? So Deutsche Bank is an IB. It is like a pure finance role. Then if you see let's say City here, City, I think, right? There a bit of Python coding and data science knowledge would may also be required along with finance. So like in Blackrock as well, you would need uh, some bit of finance, and let's say you need to know SQL or Python. So these are the basically different types of finance role that come in campus.
Uh, just to add what Priyam said, like there are 6, 7 types of broad profiles in finance. So one are like IB kind of roles, which are for mergers and acquisitions and valuation, front office roles. Then there are quant risk or quant kind of roles uh, where a little bit of programming, maybe machine learning, data statistics, econometrics, and finance and risk concepts are required. And there are few companies which are financial advisory or financial consultant companies like Upwood Capital, etc. So these are the broad kind of roles. They have some overlaps for company to company. The name of role could change. Also, what is it required for that role? It could also differ slightly.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Mr. Sagar, would you like to add something?
Yeah, so like even in campus, the roles that come, for example, City and Nomura both have a risk role. So in risk, even in risk, there are two kind of roles: risk and risk modeling and risk policy. So uh, even in a risk role, there are different segments like model risk management, risk policy, wealth management. There are various kind of roles that are offered in finance. So yeah, it's a lot. There are a lot of roles, and like you can find what excites you more, and you like uh, study a bit about it, and yeah. So
Okay, those were some really insightful answers. Now, moving on to the next question. What are the basic steps involved in a selection process for a financial role at most companies? Uh, Mr. Priyam, we would like to hear your views.
Yeah. So, of course, that depends on the role. So, if you imagine, like, let's say an IB role, that would require, you know, so the selection process would be a CV based selection, right? And if let's say there's a, it's a fintech role, let's say, uh, they would uh, they would test you on the technology part, maybe Python, SQL, stuff like these. And yeah, if it's let's say a trading role, then they will ask you quick maths and aptitude, right? So it depends on the role. So yeah, so mostly you have a test. Apart from IB roles and these kind of roles, you have a test and then CV shortlisting, both that and interview.
That was a very insightful answer. Mr. Shobit, would you like to add something?
Just a second, yeah. Please carry on to the next panel. I will continue.
Okay, I will take the question. Uh, so the stages differs from company to company and role to role. For example, like few companies will have a CV shortlist followed by group discussions and then 2 to 3 tech rounds and then HR round. For some profiles, there would be direct CV shortlist, 2 3 tech rounds and HR. For some companies, there are aptitude test, then tech rounds and HR round. So mostly that's the broad stages.
That was a great answer.
yeah, adding into it, in most of these finance-based companies, CV shortlisting is done, and after that, even the first round in both round actually, question based on CV are like always asked. So you need to be very thorough with your CV. Whatever you write in your CV, you should be very clear with it, and you have to explain it in detail whenever you are asked. So be thorough with your basics, and in risk-based roles specifically, you need to be good with fundamentals of logistic regression, linear regression, these basics of machine learning. Basically, you need to be very thorough with that, and you need to be very good with numbers. That's actually very required in these companies. Even if it is a like even in finance, pure finance goals, you need to be good with numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much all is covered by the esteemed panelists. Actually, There's one point that I would like to add, that is based on some behavioral test also there. Okay, and like you have to be thorough with them as well. So yeah, like you can prepare for that. But yeah, that is normally actually wanted to show you how what values are yours. So what you can do is to like go on the company website and check their values and like try to match with them, obviously. And yeah, that can be a good option to get selected from the test. Again, I think you're not audible, yeah, Krishna.
Just a second. Am I audible now?
Yes,
Yeah.
Krishna, you're
So,
audible.
okay, points very well noted. Let's get into the next question. So, what are the resources and strategies you guys use to prepare for a career in finance in general and also for placement specifically?
Uh, so, so there are certifications like CFA and FRM, which most of the people pursue who wants to have a good career in finance. Apart from that, those materials are also, important for placement in finance roles. Uh, this is this is for all the finance roles. Like you can be asked questions on them. For let's say for IBs, the equity part of the finance are more important, and for roles like in Blackrock or JPMC, they would require you to be strong on derivatives and bonds. So like these are the you need to see the role, and you can stress extra on the sub parts of finance as well. Apart from these, you as Sagar said, you need to be thorough with your CV and resources. Like every other interviews, you need to do the puzzles and aptitude, heard on the street, brainstormer, etc. And uh, you also there is a resource in floating in KGP from IMs like IM ABC. There is a drive which floats, so you can see if that is a useful resource also.
Would any other panelists like to add something to this?
Yeah. My preparation, I can divide my preparation in four parts. First was I tried to assess what kind of roles would be plausible for me through discussions with my seniors and looking at previous placement trends and my skill set. So once I have solidified that I want to target this particular role, I gathered all the resources required for the preparation. I stuck to the financial engineering curriculum. There are 2, 3 good books to prepare for quantitative risk roles. Like uh, there is one. John C. Hull book on derivative. One is Philip Jorian's book on value at risk. And then FRM Part 1 curriculum is also basically it would also suffice. So then the second thing is that you have to prepare for puzzles and probability statistics. So which is a little mathematics side of part. So for that, basically, I used these 3 popular quant preparation books: Hard on Street, 50 Challenging Problems, and Xinfen Zhao. Apart from that, for statistics and econometrics, I revised the 2 courses that are taught in from mathematics department and econometrics from economics department. Uh, so following that, uh, so by the mid of September, I had collected that whatever that I need for the interview. I had all of that at one place, and for 2 months I just kept revising that. Uh, Additionally, for current events in global financial, to be in touch with that events, I used to read FinShot, and I had a few good buddies who were preparing for the similar kind of roles. So that also helped me. And for puzzles and probability questions, we used to conduct this exercise where we are practicing in group. So that also helped. Like Sagar used to be there. He helped me a lot. Uh, so yeah, that's it.
Yeah, adding into that, so I based my preparation as I was looking for roles in more in quant and kind of intersection of data science and finance. I based my preparation on three parts, basically quant, as he had already covered the quant part, like probability and statistics and like puzzles and all. I use the same resources. Actually, we are big mates. We prepared together. Second part was ML. So I had a kind of background in finance in ML. I started studying ML from my second year onwards. So during my placements, before my placements, in that phase, I revised a lot of topics in machine learning and all, basics of regression, linear regression, logistic regression, and all those things. So that was the second part. The third part was econometrics. So as if anyone is in economics, and he would know that econometrics is quite a very important part, and it's like a foundation of linear regression and all those things that you study in ML. So I prepared for econometrics from a book called I don't remember the name of the book. It's by the Mother Gujarati. It's like one of the best books I have ever read in econometrics. Very detailed yet very simple explanations of all the concepts. So I would definitely recommend if someone is looking for roles in risk modeling roles, or even in quant. It's a must-do book. You should go through this book. Time series. Most of the topics are covered in a very informative, detailed way, and a very informative. It's a very informative book. You should definitely go through it. So this is how I prepared. And actually, you need to have a good peer group with you, which you can like discuss your problems, discuss puzzles and all. So discuss even after test we used to even before test we used to discuss a lot of questions. So yeah, my friends helped me a lot in this. So you need to have a good group with which you can practice. Yeah.
Mr. Shobit, would you like to add something?
Yeah, thanks, Sagar. Actually, yeah, I would like to, like try to give a holistic summary of all these points as what I prepared in the last 5 to 6 months. So we started preparing from June itself. And the first part is CV. So coming into that, there are 4 parts of CV that you should go while going into non-tech, kind of background like finance, etc. things. So first it starts from CGPA. That is in the top. So one will always talk about that. And obviously you'll get shortlist on that only. Second is your internship and project, and third is your like competitions or certifications, whatever you have. And the last is POR. So these are the 4 things, and yeah, you can like jumble them what according to your like preparation. So if you are keeping certification on the first, and there's a CFA or FRM on that first line. So obviously they will be asked question on that, and believe me, like Nomura, and there's one role in Nomura which asked all of the questions on that FRM1 only from one of my friend. So that is the thing. And so I talked to many seniors while I was doing my internship. Like I was trying to find one internship in the CTC. So there are a lot of points that came to me. I noted down each of them. I tried to fit into my CV, and finally I got some 19 something company shortlist, and and believe me, I was the last one. So in that thing, so CV was the one point that was getting me shortlisted again and again. But yeah, I never passed one company at that time. So that was the issue. Main issue is of CV, as Sagar was saying. Everything depends on your CV and what type of points you are writing on that. The interview can itself, in the interview itself, you can they can put you on mute by saying that this is not like matching and you should change this point in your CV. So that is one of the issues. That is the CV thing. Then coming on the preparation, there are four parts that I believe one should I go at least. First is finance. There are the first part is probably stats. So while you are going in data science or while you're going in finance, the first part is probably stats. And believe me, in the two rounds of HSBC, I was asked the questions of stats again and again. So that was the point that I like to make. The second is, obviously you have written some data models on your CV, so you have to prepare that. Third is finance. So for finance, I was in financial engineering with Krishna, so we know that there are too many courses on finance as well. So apart from that, I learned some of the chapters from CFA because I've never been a part of CFA, so like I'm not given CFA level one. But yeah, there was some 10 to 12 chapters that my seniors marked to me so that I can learn them. And the last is your puzzles. So they will ask puzzles again and again. So that is the whole point of preparation. For that, yeah, if it's quite big preparation, and if you want to ask like particular questions from one of them, you can contact me because there's a lot, very much long preparation, and you have to I cannot decide all you by heart right now.
Just to ask one thing, we heard the degree CFA again and again. Like, what should be the timeline, like the ideal timeline for a student currently in second year or first year? Which attempt should we give? The May attempt, like before the CDC one, after the CDC one, what should be the timeline for that?
I think Krishna has given FRM level one, and others may also continue because I have not given CF or FRM, so I'm not sure about that. But yeah, one of my friends was going on August itself, so one guy gave FRM in August, and yeah, he was able to just write only this thing that I'm a candidate of FRM, and one guy just passed it. So the guy who was passed, who was being questioned, like asked again and again the questions of CFA in no, sorry, FRM in Nomura. So that guy, struggled a lot. So that is the thing. Yeah, Krishna, if you want to add.
One
So have
one
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
One point to add. So if you could get certification at least 6 month or a year before, it would display something good, that you have genuine interest in finance and not you did not attempt CFA or FRM just in a haste to get a CV shortlist. So interviewer gets confidence that you are like genuine candidate who has a strong inclination towards this profile. Yeah, so that's what I want to say.
Uh, like uh, agreeing with what Krishna said, but it's always better to give test and put it in the CV rather than not. So yeah. Uh,
Yeah, let's move on to the next
Yeah,
question.
just the last point in that. Apart from these
Yeah,
courses,
sure.
like you can prepare some cases as well, and the cases will help you while going into consultant profile or while you're going to analyst profile because these guys can ask you a simple case or simple guesstimate to solve in one of the 4 rounds or 3 rounds or whatever your interview is. So one next cases, you can prepare normal SQL queries. Like we obviously are sitting for test as well, so you have to clear that one first before going to into interviews. So yeah, so cases and that SQL that can be added to that.
Okay, those were some great answers. Now moving ahead, what are what are the best strategies for getting shortlisted in finance interviews? Uh, Mr. Krishnakant, we would like to hear your views on this.
Having CFA or FRM certification would help definitely. More have some analytics project or DevOps related project in your CV, as the profiles which are like quant risk or quantitative profiles. They have a mix of like a job description, use some keywords. That would also increase your chance to get shortlist. Mm, Yeah, I think these are two, three things.
Would any other panelists like to add something?
I think CV is the main
Uh,
point here. Yeah, go on, Priyam.
yeah, so like personally, I created two finance CVs. So what you can do is you can see if you when you want to target a firm like let's say an IB or equity research role or roles like that you can maybe portray less of the tech knowledge you have and more of the finance knowledge you have, and maybe you can create another CV. So assuming that you're going for finance, you might target only finance or let's say uh, two finance and something else. So you can create two CVs in finance. One is for pure finance and one is for fintech. So in the fintech one, you will, along with your finance knowledge, you will also try to portray uh, application of finance using that application in finance using the tech. Let's say Python. You used a machine learning in some project in finance or something. So you can play around with that and uh, uh, according to the role, you can select the CV.
Adding to what Priyam said, yeah, CV is very important in getting you shortlisted for interviews, for finance interviews. While I was not preparing for pure finance as such, my CV was a mix of data science as well as a bit of finance. In case like I interned at American Express as a risk analyst intern, so that played a big role in me getting shortlisted for City. I also got shortlisted for Nomura too in their pure finance roles. So yeah, CV plays a great role in getting you shortlisted. If you have worked in this in a financial firm before, then it increases your chances of getting shortlisted for these interviews. So yeah, CV is one of the most important things that would get you shortlisted.
So let's move to the next question. So, like, yeah, we have heard about the degrees part and the internship part and the projects part till now to make your CV stand out. Now, I'd like to ask, what type of projects and from like how to find and do projects that are really like valuable and make your CV stand out?
Now, can you repeat the question?
So, how to find and like make valuable projects which can make your CV stand out?
Uh, so, uh, you can, you know, uh, do a range, different types of projects basically. So, let's say you, for pure finance role, you can do equity research projects and these kind of projects. And for fintech roles, you can do, let's say, machine learning plus finance, or let's say just Python plus finance, or so these kind of projects you can do to uh, you know uh, make your CV stand out. And apart from that, CFA FRM will also help. If anybody wants to add anything.
Yeah, like I would like to start think about my preparation of what was going on through internships and placement. So first you have to find out like on second or third year I mailed one professor without any CV. So that was the first thing that I did, and that's how you build your CV starting from there. So like projects, and then some like try to reach a professor first in the KGP, That will be the first project, and then with them you can go on to some different IIMs and ISB as well. It will be second or third project maybe. And also you always have connection with the seniors, whatever in which company have they interned mostly recently, or like which companies they are in now. So contact to them, like they can provide you some help while getting this internship. So that will be the first internship that I did through the connection, and like, that's how you build a CV like Stanley. And obviously that will help also while in your internships. Well, the best thing in KGP is to get one CTC internship, and yeah, prepare well for that as well. Like obviously you're not in that moment, so yeah, that is a thing. And yeah, like obviously CTC internships helped a lot. A lot of people were not sitting in the basement because they have PPUs, and they were helping other friends as well. So and in that thing, obviously once if you're in this time, or maybe in the January month, you can search for different internships as well, which will be getting added in your CV again and again. So that will boost your CV well for future opportunities as well. Thanks.
Those were some great answers. Now, does anyone? Yes, please.
Yeah, two couple of things that could help to stand out a CV, that you can participate in contest on that. There is one platform like then hackathons, which inter IIT hackathons or open IIT hackathons. Then there are some SEBI competitions. If you have those competitions or certificate of it, they look really well on CV. Additionally, some spikes like having a high CG is also something that could help.
Mr. Sagar, would you like to add something to it?
Yeah, pretty much is covered. Yeah, one thing is in finance, I think it's important to have worked in the domain before. Like you can't just shift from from tech to directly finance. So if you should have some experience in the financial domain. So for example, you can do an intern in ISB, IIMs, as Priya mentioned. So that would actually help you out a lot in getting shortlisted. Uh, I had interned at ISB, but it was a data science intern kind of. I worked on a NLP based project. But yeah, there are a lot of in ISB Hyderabad. There's a Center for Analytical Finance (CAF), in which they have very good projects in finance. So you should definitely go for it if you are in your second year or third year. You should if you are a dual degree in third year, you can go for it. So it would really stand out in your CV if you have done a very good project in ISB or IM. Also, CG is important. Try to have as high CG as you can for placements. That's all.
Those are some great answers. Now, moving on to the next question. How can a candidate, as in most of the times people fail to get an internship at well-known companies, so what can a candidate do in order to compensate that? Mr. Shobit, would you like to?
Yeah. So as I said, there were 4 pointers in your CV, and there were the 4 perks. So as I said, I was not had much great internships in my CV, but yeah, like there were 2 PURs. Obviously, there were whole PURs, so it was not much valuable again. But yeah, apart from that, I had some good projects, and those were based on some IM and one of the IM and one of other again an IM. And apart from that, while there was some competition, so lastly we are having this AB InBev competition going on in the market, and so everyone wrote that in their CV. And the last is CGPA. So at least you should have 2 or 3 perks more out of these 4, maybe 2 at least to get shortlist. That was a great thing actually to make out. And yeah, so the thing is, while I was talking about this competition, so it happened in the month of I think August or September only. So while we are preparing, we just put this name into our CV again, and that also boosted our CV and obviously of compensated the of not having a good intern. I would like to add something.
Yes, Shobit mostly covered all the things like yeah, having you can compensate it with good projects, competitions, you know, taking subjects and maybe doing a certification or something. Yeah, so that's it. That's about it.
Uh, Mr. Krishnapal, would you like to add something?
Shobit and Priyam actually said pretty much about it. Like you can definitely give CFA attempt in August month if you are not if you fail to get good intern.
Uh, Again, points very well noted. Let's move on to the next question now. So, yeah, I guess this question is also pretty much answered in detail. So, we'll not waste our times and just move on to the next question.
Okay, like
So moving on. Yes, please.
yeah, so talking about like there were two things, like two interviews that I have been through in the last placement. So one was on 30th 31st 30th December, so 30th November and 31st November, and that is of Nomura model validation group. So this guy directly came into this like being an interview and just said that open an ID. So I was ready with my introduction, like I prepared a well 1.5 minute introduction, and this guy said just open an ID. So and on that aspect, they started talking about prob stats, and like then towards one a small question of linked list as well, and one question again on basic CP. That was for Nomura. And talking about HSBC, that was my second interview. The first round happened mostly on the data part. So, and about obviously, as I said, stats. So they started from my CV itself. So whatever models you have written, they will go deep into it, and because they are also checking your data sense. And so there will be four parts again in a model. So first is data set, then again models, and then perimeter tuning, and the last is error metric. So they went one by one, and they talked like if you there's an example, if you have used anytime LSTM, so they ask like what are x's and what are y's in that in your data set that should be fitted into an LSTM model. So there are no y's actually. So that is the like that is a good question to ask like someone who just written LSTM in their profile CV. And then talking about my second round, so there were four parts that they I think written like behind my CV. The first is again CV, and that contains some again the C apart from CV, like there were two internships that I did in the same company, so they talked thoroughly on both of them, and line by line I like try to explain for what how why did I do this project, and what technologies did I use, and what challenges. So everything again and again, both of the internships, obviously at the same company. And then they went on probability stats, asking basic questions of statistics, normal distribution, x and y's again, and in normal distribution how they're combined, correlation, covariance, and what is the relation between them, and how there's a proof of how correlation lies between -1 and 1. So they just said me to write that on a paper and like just show that to them. And after that there was again a TSA question. So they were talking about like how to find simple binary question, that how to find the root of a number. And lastly, while I was leaving, the one lady said that actually I want one puzzle as well. So there were the four parts that they covered throughout the interviews for myself. Yeah.
Would any other panelists like to add something?
Yeah, I'll go next.
Yeah.
So for City, there were three rounds. First two were technical rounds, third one was HR round. In the first round, I was asked pretty much everything. Like he asked me econometrics, statistics, prop stats, and like everything and in detail. And he also grilled me on my CV. So in prop stats question where like he gave me a case and just asked me like what's the probability of this and all. Then he went for econometrics too. Econometrics, he asked me basics of like regression, logistic regression, what are the assumptions of linear regression, what is multipolarity, what are bias estimators and all. Like he like I wasn't expecting him to be so much thorough with econometrics. He grilled me a lot on econometrics. Like in between, even I gave a wrong answer for something, so he grilled me on that. Like you are from economics, you are still giving me a wrong answer in econometrics. So you have written this on your CV, and still you're not aware of this. So yeah, if you write something on your CV, one thing I would say that if you're writing something in your CV, you should be very, very thorough with it. Like, if you're writing multipolarity, you should be very thorough with what it is, how is it detected, what are the tests for it, how the estimators are the estimator biased, are the estimators consistent in this and all. So these are things that you should always keep in mind when you're in the interview, going for the interview. Also, CV is very important. I had an intern in Amex in the same profile that I was giving an interview in City. So pretty much the discussion was mostly the last part of the discussion was mostly on what I did in my intern and like why I did this, why I did this like this, what is the methodology, what were the implications of what I did. Like my work in Amex was on this modeling and like it was more on the ML side, kind of, but still, he asked me the business impact of that, the business understanding of what I had done. So you should have like you should चार्ट जो सीवी को है मतलब समझ जाओ सीवी को अच्छे से everything you should be thorough with. Second round also was basically more into CV and like all the projects in my CV were had to be explained to the panel. And yeah, so CV is very, very important in City. At least it is very important in most of the finance interviews too.
So I'll quickly go next. In Blackrock, there were two rounds. The first round comprised of questions from bonds, derivatives, swaps, so bonds and derivatives mostly, CV grilling, and the CV grilling was really heavy. Yeah, so that was the first round. The second round, again, there was questions from bonds and derivatives, and it had some questions from SQL and basic C++. Yeah, that's all.
Does anyone? Yeah.
My interview was also followed somewhat same same parts as Priya. So my CV had this course mentioned derivatives and risk management. So interviewer directly asked me if I'm comfortable with a derivative and asked me question on swaps. So the questions were they expected me to have a detailed understanding of methodology that is followed to calculate a value of swap. And they give me some cases like suppose if you do not have swap available, then using other instrument, how can you generate similar cash flows? Then there was a detailed discussion on LIBOR, zero coupon yield curve, etc. Then moving on, they asked me question on option grids and like based on properties of different option grids at the money, in the money, out of the money, like how they behave, etc. Then put call parity and so this was about the risk measure of options. Then there was a discussion on bond risk, like duration and convexity. in one sense, the mechanical meaning of it and the economic significance of it. On that, the discussion was continued for 15 minutes. And then basic questions on VAR, value at risk, how you estimate it, what are the approaches, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of each option. So then on same at on value at risk, they asked me question that how you calculate value at risk for call option or put option. So this was the first part. For the second part, interview begin with the question that introduce yourself and tell us like why you applied for the role. Maybe they were checking if the candidate is genuinely interested or inclined towards this role and have positive attitude. Then the questions were asked on value at risk again. This time they asked me about how to calculate value at risk for a bond portfolio. Then moving on, there were some questions on probability statistics. From probability, they asked me 2 to 3 questions from hard on street or 50 challenging problems. After that, they asked me simple basic assumptions of different regression models. And that discussion continued to time series analysis and econometrics, auto-regressive models, ARIMA models, and how you estimate the value of parameters, like how you decide values of PQD and other things. They asked me to explain the code, pseudo code for binary search, because they did not ask me to open up a IDE or to write down code. It was online interview, so they just they wanted to maybe check like how well you can communicate any methodology or a logic. Then there were few questions on approximation method from mathematics part 2. And then there was one HR round. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the pretty much detail I guess the audience was expecting. Moving on to the next question. So, like, how is the work culture and the environment at your company?
So for BlackRock, I can speak that it is a really, really good culture here in BlackRock, and uh, the you would experience less of what office politics and all here, and yeah, uh, like what I that is contrary to what I expected and heard from my seniors about different finance firms, right? So yeah, that's my opinion, and uh, others can have done.
Yeah, in city too, the culture is pretty chill. People are approachable, and yeah, you can. People are in general very approachable in city. You can like, if you are having any issue, you can like just go across and ask anyone in your team, and they will assist you. So work culture wise, it's good. Only the drawback is the timing. So as my team works with the US based team, so my work timing is 2 to 10, which is actually quite it kind of takes quite a main part of the day. So yeah,
Uh, I think it's fine for KGV folks, right?
yeah,
Actually, it would have been more fine if you're in the morning session, 2 to 10 a.m. Yeah, so talking about HSBC, yeah, they were very supportive on the very start. There were some perks that were given to us, flight, etc., hotel, etc. things. And then whenever we have been to the new team, obviously everyone is very well welcoming. Some things about that, like you cannot use your phone on the desk. That's kind of different thing. And obviously, if you have any issues, there might be some possibility that that the guy who will be resolving your issue is not sitting in India. So you have to wait for that thing. And yeah, the timings are very well fine, but the thing is that you have to log in for at least 7 hours a day. And yeah, doesn't depend how many breaks you have in between, but yeah, you have to log in and log out time should be at least 7 hours. So that is a kind of issue. And yeah, everyone is very welcome actually. So I had my birthday yesterday and celebrated well, but yeah, there was a corporate touch in everything. So you have to be respective in every sense, and I think KGP has taught you well.
Yeah. So at Nomura, it depends and varies across teams. So, for example, I get 60% of time I can work from home, and only 40% I have to go to office. For other teams, uh, uh, the uh, the extent to which anyone can work from home is different. For global markets, I think they have to work 5 days from office. Then second thing that Nomura does endorse or sponsored any kind of global tuition for FRM or CFA certification. So it's encouraging to build a good career. Also, they have this talent retention policy, which means if someone switches out of Nomura, so they still they are open to take him back. So that's a good thing, I believe. Uh, One more thing that Nomura allows flexibility and mobility to move into different roles within Nomura. For example, someone who started in risk management, ITMVG or risk methodology, have switched to global markets or went to US or UK office. That's also like a really good thing. Uh, More on the team. Basically, the division has around 40 people, and my team has 5 people working here in Powai office. So the team has mix of new joiners, some associates, VPs from the age group of 22 to 40s and 50s. It's also a great thing that you can interact with people with various backgrounds and at different stages of life. Like you get to learn or you get to experience what are the career trajectories or their experiences. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Those were some great answers. Now, moving ahead to the next question. What mistakes do you think you made during your placement season? Or what are some things you realized later which you could have done better? Mr. Shobit,
Yeah,
we would
actually,
like to hear your views.
it started from internships. Like as I said, there was a lot of very various things in my CV that I didn't covered. So what I did this time, I will not directly tell my mistake, but yeah, I will tell how I coped with the mistakes in my internship era. So there was 3 internships and 3 projects in my CV. So I prepared 6 documents of each of them and on a Word document. So I made questions and like I got into deep levels of that question. So if you have made some a bold word and you made that bold because you're very confident about that, so you have to prepare 10, 12, 15 questions behind that, and they will go deep into it, believe me. So as I said, no one has ever thought that they will ask any questions maybe from an internship or from a project that you did in last 3 years, but they will. So that is the thing. And yeah, so yeah, pretty much about the words that you are choosing in your CV, and while you're giving answers in the interview, that those should be very much simple, and that simply let the interviewers understand what you're trying to say. That is the main thing, and that depends upon the communication skills as well. So yeah, I prepared for that as well a lot. There was a PhD guy in my hall that had helped me uh, to build my communication skills in that era. So that was the thing that I did in internships, as you can see, mistakes. But yeah, I covered them actually in placements. So yeah, obviously the one point that I like to make, so when you are going with your words in your CV, so I write somewhere that I'm using some PE. So PE is also price to equity ratio, and PE is also put options that we can generally say in finance language. So the intro directly told me into my face that this is not a good line actually, that is not making any sense. So you have to change it. So that was the mistake that I did in internships, but I pretty much covered in my placements. So yeah, that's all from my side.
Would anyone else would like to add something?
So for me, if I could give more mock interviews, I think that would have been better. Mock interviews is something that helped me a lot, uh, right? For a lot of finance roles, the interviews is the most important thing, and your communication skills and all are tested there. I think giving interviews with your friends will help you with that. Yeah, so I think this is one thing that I will say. Yeah, Sagar and Krishna, if you want to add something.
Yeah, just like Priyam, interviews, like you should give mock interviews before placement, because when you go for directly for interviews, you would like don't want to have the confidence. So it is important for building the confidence. So yeah, one thing I did not do was like preparing solely for interviews beforehand. So yeah, I pretty much like studied, but in the end, it's like you have to be very presentable in the interview. You have to like be prompt with your answers, and also it's very important that you give mock interviews before, because like what many people do is like if your interview is after 2 days, they would give like start giving mock interview just a day before. So that won't help in the long run. Like you might falter in the interview. So it's important to have that frame of mind beforehand, and like be
It's
prepared in advance for the interview, like not leaving for the end. That's what I would say. That's one of the things I did wrong during my placements.
it's also a very good way to assess yourself, actually. Like how is your preparation at the moment, right? Uh,
Yeah,
so yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I'm also on the same page as Priyam and Sagar, that you should practice more, like have some mock sessions with your peers and your seniors. Uh, and second thing, which was a bit foolish that I did, that in the expectation that if I take a MNC department elective, that will like help me in preparation too. So it was the subject was much demanding, and in mid sem you can feel that it's not going well. So if possible, uh, take a relatively peace subject. Yeah.
Yeah, don't take
Just adding
Yeah,
one
responsibility
point
yeah,
in
here.
I
that
just
placement semester.
Sorry, actually, I just wanted to add one point there. While you're preparing for e-commerce skills, what you can do is used to like everything builds on introduction. So you have to prepare well a lot. So be on some like with someone else, or maybe you on to directly the terminal. You have to prepare introduction well, so that will show you how confident you are while going into interview. And apart from that, you prepare cases. So what happens like take a bunch of three guys. One will be giving a case, and the other will be taking the case, and there will be one guy who's just watching you both too. So how well you're responding and in both ways. So that actually, we have to talk in English again and again. So that's how you are solving a case. At the same time, you are preparing for your communication. So that is two things that you can do well, like we're preparing, how to be confident. And yeah, always like if you are this offline interview, always put your hands on the table. That shows like there's a behave respect there, and it will build your confidence. So take your time, like sit back and relax, and always like take a pen and paper. That will help a lot. And like everything that they ask, just put into that pen and paper, and that try to show them. So they actually want something in written, and like they asked me to like summarize my interview. So what I did, I started from start to end. I drawed anything or everything onto the paper, and just the guy was just like taking a look into that, and again just asking some questions on that. So that is a kind of good habit that you can do. So yeah, that's the thing.
One more thing I would like to add that basically for risk control, there are a handful of companies that visit our campus. So we do not have much options there. So you must have a backup profile, maybe data or SD, and like by mid of September, I got hunch that I have no chance even to by day 5, day 6 to get into SD or a data role, as the last year placement season was like not many companies. So I think that was a mistake on my part, that everyone should have a backup option because placements are very random and like probably even if you are a really good candidate and company decides to choose only one or two, uh, so this kind of situations you can be thrown into. Uh, so when get sorted with placement, and then you can search in off campus like for your desired roles. Yeah. So.
Just to mention here for our audience, as the panelists said, mock interviews are a very essential part of your preparation. Communiqué organizes its mock interview dive for you guys to prepare and practice mock interviews and check where you stand currently. Also, we talked about electives and converting a degree to financial engineering. So, how much that helps in the actual placement process?
Yeah, I think it will boost. Obviously, there are some companies. Actually, one only like last time it came. It is named as Adenza, and I think it only shortlisted those candidates which are from FP. And there are some which also shortlist only from entrepreneurship. So that's a issue. Like that is a very good point there. And yeah, why someone want to go into FP? So I in my first year I heard that all the FA students get that get sorted every year. So that was the main intention. But when I got into it and I maintained a CGPA, that will be the cutoff criteria. So I learned more about finance, and there was some background as well in my past like early years of my life. So that all made up me more interested towards towards finance, and that's how like I did.
Yeah. FP is actually a really valuable course. Like if you see placement stats, like people are getting placements closer to circuital department, of course, after HSS. Uh, and so you can also go for FRM, like financial engineering can be said it's equivalent to FRM 1. Uh, and electives like uh, it's a good idea to like for FP, I think you only can choose electives which are like specific to financial engineering.
Like yeah,
Does
actually,
anyone like to add
mostly
something?
like currently who all are in fourth year, there will be an opportunity if you're not there. But yeah, what you can do is to prepare well for the interviews, and like whenever you see some opportunity like going into competition or like holding some CFA FRF candidate certificate, anything like that, or find some good internships, so that will very well add you some like boost to your
So now let's move on to the chat's questions. Can we take these slides to the chat questions? Yeah, so the first question would be, I'm a mechanical engineering student, so which subject I should take as a breadth and how much package we can expect in finance?
Okay. Uh, so the package varies from varies a lot actually. So that I can say. IBs generally offer around 25 to 35 lakhs. Okay, and there are rules. So uh, about what subjects you can take. So there are a lot of finance courses that are offered in campus. There is there are subjects like equity research, derivatives, fixed income. You can take those subjects and maybe you can also do some projects side by side. And yeah, so that is all.
Yeah, moving on to the next question. How much
Uh,
CGPA is
uh,
safe for getting shortlisted?
Krishna, I want to add something to that,
Yeah, yeah.
to previous question, that I have seen that mechanical
Yes, yes.
professors are not that like cool with taking electives from other departments. Like I know few people who were interested in finance, but they were not allowed to take courses from VGSOM. So they had option to appear for CFA. Uh, Additionally, if you can see that uh, many important courses of financial engineering are pushed from a second year to third or fourth year. So like this is very peculiar about mechanical department.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know that.
Next question. How much CGPA is safe for getting shortlisted?
uh, so I have
Yes.
seen in Blackrock, I have seen people with above 7.5 getting shortlisted. So I think in general finance firms, it will be safe if if your CG is above 8. Some firms like I guess Morgan Stanley or something, they prefer 9. Sagar, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Uh,
Yeah, for Morgan Stanley, they generally shortlist above 9 plus in both their stats and
Okay.
control as well as their finance role.
Also, is there any department bias in any of these firms?
I would say the firms basically look the courses that you have done. Okay. So maybe if they see an FP candidate, they will know that okay, he must have done all the courses in FP. So that is obvious to come, right? So you can compensate it by doing an FRM level 1, or doing a CFA or FRM. Yeah, that's about it. Or you can also take courses if your department allows you to take them.
I'm also
Yeah.
on this same page as Priyam and Sagar. Like in Novira, for NVG and RMG role, people with CG more than 7.5 got shortlist for interview. So I think 7.5, like that's the minimum, and better the CG, better the chances.
Moving on. What materials would you recommend for econometrics?
So for
Damodar Gujarati.
econometrics, I already mentioned that the best book that you could ever
Yeah.
like read is the Damodar Gujarati. Go for it.
It's
And I
one
think so
just
that
that it's
uh,
1,000 pages long.
Yeah, you should like go
The
for the important chapters like regression, linear regression, logistic regression,
Other
yeah.
that you can
orthogonality. Like
you'll
you
also
should.
find, yeah. Other than that, you will also find lectures on YouTube. You can see them MIT. There are lectures on MIT from MIT and all. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a one very good course in a KGB only. There is a very first course that I liked about all the courses in KGB. I think Krishna might agree on that part that there's a course called Financial Econometrics taught by Professor Dipto Bakshi. That is a good kind of course and start from linear regression and everything, and how to prove them. And eventually, what happened in my second interview, that second round, sorry, they literally asked me to prove the limitation there. So yeah, so if you have been through this type of, so it's a very simple course, and even if you're in the mid of this semester, you can very well join that or take notes from that, because they are very good notes, and the professor is also very like good teaching that.
Yes, econometrics are taught by two professors, I think, Pulak Mishra in HSS and Aditya Bakshi, who is also from HSS, but he teaches to FP students. So, their notes material are I think enough to navigate placements.
Yeah, actually, Pulak
Yeah.
sir's course is
So
quite good.
moving. So yeah, moving on to the next question. Being a fresher at the institute, how do I explore these domains in my first year so that I can identify my interests?
I would say explore. You
First year.
can you can start by, in finance you can maybe start by seeing basic financial markets and all, stock market. You can just uh, see if that interests you. In You can also take up projects in different domains, and uh, see where your interest lies.
Uh, to add that, I think from the first year or in your second year, if you are not clear that you want to go into finance, you should first explore if you are if coding you are meant for coding or data kind of things. There are few societies and clubs like Quant Club and two, three more clubs. So through that you can get in touch with your seniors who can help you could show you the path. Moreover, two things then, because the programming and data, it takes time to become skillful. With the kind of profiles, I mean, like quant risk, so it involves programming, data, I mean, statistics, and little bit of finance. So suppose by the end of third year or third year, if you believe that you are not that good at coding, and you want to switch to finance, so you still have time. You can go for CFA, FRM, and that's how you can build a profile for quant risk, I think. Yeah.
So I guess that was pretty much it for the questions from audience side, and I guess we have cleared most of them very correctly.
Yeah, that was the same question
Moving
I was
on,
going to ask. Yes, actually,
would
Krishna
any of you
and
like to give some final fun? Yeah,
I'm audible.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, so this will be the end, right?
Yeah, you are audible. So we will be just having a final fun day or final insight you would have for the juniors, which we might have overlooked.
I
Let
guess you guys pretty much covered everything. Uh, it is just that try uh, to first identify your interests, and also do projects, and uh, s- try to make your CV towards that. Have a Try to have a backup if the number of companies that come in KGP are less for that domain. So for, let's say, finance, if it's less, you can go to your backup domain. Uh, that doesn't mean that you stop pursuing that. You can always try off campus. Apart from that, I think, yeah, we guys pretty much covered everything. Uh, Anything Sagar or Sobit want to add?
Yeah, I want to add that if you're in first or second year, keep exploring different things. Don't go by the rat race that everyone is doing coding. I should also do. You should do, you should definitely try, but keep exploring other domains, whatever you find interesting. Like I started off with coding. I used to code in my first year, second year, even in my third year, but eventually I liked data science more. I shifted to data science. Then I focused more on data science. Eventually, I went more for modeling. Modeling and quant roles. So, I in the end liked quant more than data science or something like that. So yeah, it's kind of like you learn a lot by exploring. By yeah, so keep exploring in your first, second year. By third, fourth year, you would like definitely have like gone into your favorite domain and like enjoy your college life while you're there. Corporate isn't that interesting as your college life.
Yeah, one more thing to add that during placement, don't prepare in silos. Have a nice peer group who they should also have the same aims, or they are also targeting for similar profiles. So that definitely helps. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, have a good peer group so that you could like if you are stuck somewhere, then there's someone you could seek help from, and like keep contacting your seniors who are in that domain. Like keep exploring. Like if you are like interested in something, you should like ping the seniors who have like if you are interested in like finance, you can ping your seniors and like talk about what they are asking, like what are the important topics, what are the various things that you should study. So yeah, keep talking to people, keep learning, and yeah, keep participating in competitions that are held even in hall in like there are many competitions held across India. Keep participating, keep learning. That's very important.
And one more like philosophical advice, that don't hesitate to ask for help. Uh, uh, Let they be your professors or your seniors or peers. Like I've seen that more than 90% of people would actually help if you would reach out. So, for example, my CV was not that good at the time of internship. When I decided to do some projects and to improve my CV for placement, I went to Professor Pravina Rajiv, and that was actually the project she gave that had very positive impact during my placement and in my interviews. Second thing, that the insights that you get from your seniors about preparation, that you won't get by reading some articles. So please be in touch
Yeah.
with your peers and seniors. Yeah.
Yeah, just last to adding to the tech point, ending words. So while you're preparing for an IB type of firm, you can also prepare some industrial sector. Like one of my friends went into Arpod. Arpod is just shortlisted one, taken only one guy, and all the 4 rounds are based on one single industry, that is the cement industry. And obviously, Arpod deals in cements only. So he was asked even the the formula of cement. So you have to, like, if you're going for a IB kind of role, so you have to prepare some good stocks that you like. Obviously, you're a finance student, so you have to be ready with one or two stocks always, and one industrial sector. So they will ask some questions again and again, because investment kind of thing. So you have to look for every sectors in that domain. So that is there. And if you want to get the nitty gritty of the whole preparation, you can always contact us. If someone can share, or you can also ping us on FB and anywhere else. We'll be there or always for you. बस ये मजा क्या करना है.
Yes, absolutely. Those were some really great answers. So, with this, we come to the end of our placement bootcamp. We would like to thank all of our panelists for taking out the valuable time. It was a great session and a very good time interacting with you all. I'm sure it must have answered a lot of audience doubts. So, once again, thank you, everyone. You're a great audience.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Hope KGP has a great placement season ahead. Yeah.
या
Yeah.
करते हैं बात. ओके.
Okay.
Okay, guys, bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.